Hello and welcome to Commodity Champions. I'm Manisha Gupta, and the sales of lab-grown diamonds have risen more than $12 billion in 2022 from almost just about $1 billion 7 years ago. To meet the growing demand for these synthetic diamonds, the market volume is expected to double from 9 million carats in 2022 to over 19 million carats in 2030. With a 26% market share in production, India is the biggest contributor in this industry. In fact, the volumes in India grew by 5% on an year-on-year basis in April to July 2023. To talk further about the future of lab-grown diamonds, we are now joined by Pooja Sheth Madhavan, who's founder and managing director at Limelight Diamonds. Sanket Patel is director at Green Lab Diamonds, and joining us also is Parag Agarwal. He's chief executive officer at Fiona Diamonds. Thank you so much for joining us. And lab-grown diamonds clearly is an exciting space to be. In the last couple of years, we've seen the buzz continue on the higher side. The numbers gradually, though, have continued to increase as well. Sanket, I'll start with you first. And the industry is growing, the manufacturing is growing. We also have seen the cost of production of lab-grown diamonds also continue to decline. If, in summary, how would you describe the industry as it stands now?
Thanks, Manisha. Thank you for having us here today. We have a good question with the pricing on how the pricing have declined and now it's stabilizing. As we all know, when there is a niche demand of a particular product in the earlier stages, the prices were really high. But now looking at how the prices or how the demand has increased, and obviously there are other growers and other retailers who have entered this trade to get the prices at the base. So right now, what we are thinking and what we see is the prices have hit a very stable price point, where we don't see that there is a lot that can there's not a lot that can decline on it. Looking at the market, we see a very positive sign towards the lab-grown diamond industry as the demand, as you've also said, the increase in the carats, year on year, and the acceptance of this product in India as well right now as a really high hope for the entire industry. And obviously, when we're talking about lab-grown diamonds, we're talking about there are the CBD, which we are doing in India with this carbon vapor deposition, which has given a really good strength to the entire industry, and also it's a comfort on the price point with the consumers.
Sanket, how would you look at the competition? Because we do know that a lot of more and many players are getting into this space now. One, how do you look at the competition? And two, the cost of producing lab-grown diamonds, how is that moving?
So the cost of producing lab-grown diamond, it was same right now, and it was the same earlier as well. So the cost has stabilized. There is no, it's not getting any cheaper. It's only going to get expensive, because when you see the labor which is used in cutting and polishing these diamonds is the same as what they use in mine diamonds. So obviously, with the increasing number of carats in the market, what we see is in the coming days, there will be a shortage of labor because there are not too many artisans available in this industry. So obviously, it's not declining, it's only increasing. So what we can see is the prices have stabilized. We don't see more scope of it to decrease, but obviously to increase, because it's all in the end manpower. And when we're using manpower, obviously the rates are going to get higher in the coming days.
And what about the competition, Sanket? Because there are more and more players now getting into the market. The smaller entrepreneurs to even big name companies are also opening a department which is now going to be producing synthetic diamonds.
So lab-grown diamonds. What we're looking at is obviously there is a lot of competition, but there is a lot of consumption as well, what we're seeing in the coming days. So it's not, I would not say competition, but I would say it is, the industry is growing. I've also thought of this before, because the more the stores that will open, the more awareness of the product will be. And obviously people will start diverting towards this product because the availability will increase. It's not going to be controlled by any one person, obviously, because this is an industry not controlled by anybody. So, and it was never, like even the mine diamond industry wasn't controlled by any one player. Likewise, the lab-grown diamond industry also won't be controlled by any one player. So everyone will have their own bit in the market to share. And obviously, it will be a healthy business. Like, to grow together is the best way to move ahead.
Parag, getting you in the conversation as well, what would you say is how much worth is this industry right now, and with what pace is it growing?
Well, it is what we are experiencing is nearly doubling every year. because as the awareness is increasing, like Sanket said, and more is the acceptance, because especially after Modi ji gifting it to Joe Biden's wife, the winds have changed, and all of them would agree with this. With more and more player, it's like more of validation which is coming in. So market, I feel like in the US, it was one out of two engagement rings being sold were lab diamonds, which was much. It got there much faster than expected. So the Indian market also is about 265 million right now, and it would be crossing 1 billion in the next 2 years. Just the local retail market.
Hmm. Pooja, as Parag says that it's a 265 million market in the Indian space right now, which is just about retail. What is your sense? What kind of growth, what kind of work, what kind of marketing needs to be put in to create more awareness?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree with what Parag and Sanket have said. Consumers are getting more and more aware. I think lab-grown diamond is turning out to be an upgrade for every type of consumer. So, a consumer who never purchased a diamond or always aspired a diamond is now being able to afford a diamond. But a consumer who is purchasing a 1 carat is now upgrading to a 2 carat. Consumer who was purchasing a 2 carat is now upgrading to a 5 carat. Because the savings that one can do with lab grown diamonds, and the fact that these are exactly the same, they're identical, they're the test tube baby version of diamonds. I think consumers are understanding that, and therefore making sense of upgrading and only enriching their experience through lab grown diamonds. And yes, with the government and the kind of support that the government is giving in the country, I think consumers are more and more being made aware that these are homegrown diamonds. These are Desh ka diamond, as we call it. And I think that's the kind of marketing or positioning that is perhaps sticking in the audiences of the Indian continent. And day by day, the lab grown diamond sales, I mean, even in our retail front, we have only seen 2x and 3 times, sales growth year on year in terms of our sales. And we're only seeing more and more millennials of this country lap up bigger and brighter diamonds of our own country. I also want to, perhaps touch upon, what we just spoke about in terms of competition. Yes, I think at the retail front, on the retail front, competition is great. And having more and more players is only sort of increasing validation of the product. But it's also important to understand that at the growing level, or where the labs are, there's not enough competition, and only because the kind of price points that we are at today in the lab grown diamonds, it has created a huge entry barrier for new entrants to come in. The break even capex on the machinery has gone up to 7 years. So it's not so easy for new entrants to come in, which is a good deal, which means that the growers have now stabilized in the country. And we'll see a lot more expansion from there, and therefore there'll be a lot more price stability in the market also.
Parag, the one concern that lab-growns have faced, of course, apart from the pricing part of it, has been on whether these can be assayed and certified. And would you say that that issue, problem, or lack of awareness also seems to be getting sorted now?
Yes, lack of awareness is definitely getting sorted. Earlier, the issue was people were not giving references, but now I think they're proud and they are sharing with their family members and friends that, okay, I'm going behind an eco-friendly and sustainable option. And more to that, people are not coming to us to save money. They're coming to have more value purchase. So no one in the HNI world would want to save their money on diamonds. They would end up spending same amount, but getting bigger diamonds and more jewelry. So the value purchase is the game. Sustainability and eco-friendliness is the thing which everyone is promoting, and they feel good about it, that you can shine responsibly with these diamonds.
All right. Let me come to all of you with one question on what do you think is still a big challenge that is faced by lab-grown as an industry? Sanket, what would you say that needs to be worked on a priority basis when it comes to this industry?
Right. So if you see from the sales point of view, what we feel is a little difficulty, or in for the audience to understand or speak about this product is still yet to come, because not everybody is willing to push this by saying, oh, because some people just don't want to say that it's a lab grown diamond and they want to flaunt it as a mine diamond. That's fair. I mean, because it doesn't matter whether you're wearing a lab diamond or a mine diamond, but in the coming days, obviously, what we will see is people will speak about this more, which we want them to do. And in the end, see, I would just want to make one point when I would like to say is this is not a cheaper product. This is a product with the same price with a better product. So it's not cheaper, but it's a better product with the cheaper price. So there is no bad or good in wearing a lab diamond or a mine diamond. So it's just a diamond in the end, and it's on how a consumer is looking at it, whether they're looking at the price point, they're looking at the sustainability point. There are a few factors that we'll keep in mind, and coming forward, we will move ahead with that.
Oh, absolutely. Parag, what do you think is a concern here? I mean, as Sanket says, people are buying lab-grown, flaunting it as mine. So there is some status concerns coming in. But according to you, what's the challenge?
So what I see is with our brand, there are two segments of the society. One is the ultra HNI, and like Sanket mentioned, they do not want to share with people that what they're wearing, because what they fear is that their existing diamonds would turn into a lab diamond and their value would go down.
Okay.
So of course that is happening, but there is a bigger segment of people, which are the millennials and people who choose these diamonds for their engagement rings. Like people who come to us and tell us that I do not want blood on my fingers. I want a clean conscience, and I'd rather go for my Birkins or other bag shopping or shoe shopping and spend on experiences and get a better value purchase. So these are the people who do not mind sharing it with their friends and family, and they're promoting it. So as you say, the best marketing is your customer yourself.
Right.
And the mouth-to-mouth publicity is the best. So this segment of the consumer is the one who promotes it and do not shy away from sharing it with others. And it's the only ultra HNIs who do not share it. And all of us, we really know as sellers that who all in India are buying from us.
All right. Pooja, when it comes to collaborations, would you say that the industry is working together on whether it's about increasing the consumer base, increasing more awareness, ensuring that this is a product which stabilizes and grows?
Yes, absolutely. I think the industry is moving towards that. I may not say, I may say it's at the nascent stages still. I think there's a lot more collaboration that perhaps is needed because, like what, we have been mentioning that, see, what is important from an Indian standpoint is to understand that we have so far always been, importing mined rocks. And पत्थर से हीरा बनाने का काम हमेशा इंडिया ने ही किया है. And after the polished product is out, making the jewelry and exporting is what India has always mastered it. Now is the opportunity for India to also grow its own rocks. So I think bringing that story to the consumers who at their own, in their own hearts want to support a Make in India product is important. And I believe that the industry is going to work hard towards bringing this proposition out to the audiences. Also the mindset of smaller things like how the brands consistently are making sure that the pricing is competitive, yet at the same time it is nobody is trying to break the market, where all the competitors are working in tandem to make sure that there's a sustenance in the market in terms of pricing the product. In terms of also buyback and resale opportunities, which to an Indian consumer is very, very important. It's great to know that, most of the brands on the street offer, the same buyback and resale opportunities that exist in, any sort of fine diamond jewelry. The same exists in lab-grown diamond space also. We at our brand also offer the same kind of offering. So I think that holds immense trust and confidence in the mindset of the consumers.
Oh, very well said. Yes, it's a competitive market, and it would be nice if people don't break the prices on the lower side. And as Indians, we do want to upgrade, buy back, resell. So if lab-growns can offer that as well, I think it's a market that is here to stay. Welcome back. You're watching Commodity Champions, and we are discussing lab-grown diamonds. When you talk that subject, you talk about Make in India, because India contributes to more than 25% globally in sense of lab-growns. Also, while of course it's about jewelry, but Sanket, would you say that there are various other industrial uses as well which are now being talked about lab-grown diamond? Not just jewelry, but whether you talk about optics and 5G and defense and pharma, you talk about it and there's a usage.
Yes, definitely. There is multiple uses of a diamond because it's already been used earlier in the stages, but obviously with the cost of mining and the resources, it was not that available, openly available. But now with lab-grown diamond, there are any number of uses that they can use within. May it be semiconductors, may it be batteries, may it be optical lenses, as you mentioned. there are n number of products that can accommodate a diamond, because whatever product needs to have a heat transmission, or because diamond is the hardest material on the planet, and to have the super hard material that can sustain the highest amount of heat is applicable everywhere where you can think of. I mean, it's just the usage is endless.
No, absolutely. So, Sanket, as we go ahead from here, would you say that, of course, jewelry is going to be a major part always, but a forward-looking statement, and how much would you see lab-growns actually contributing to these industrial uses?
Ma'am, if we look, for example, right now there's a lot of research that is happening.
Okay.
It's not executed by any particular company as of now.
Hmm.
But there are, all the markets worldwide. The government itself is working on semiconductors, may be optical, or may be tools, printing tools. There's a lot of work that can be done in the defense segment. So there are quite a few uses that can be accommodated by lab grown diamond, and definitely in the coming days this will be captured as well by whoever can be able to get the production at this precise scale, and a precise demand of what they actually require. It's just not just a base plate, but there are many other things that go into making a semiconductor chip, may it be satellite network for 5G, defense, optical media, anything, medical industry. So everything has a usage of it, but the only concern is on how or who is going to be able to create that application.
All right. So still in research, but there have been various reports suggesting on how this can be an affordable solution perhaps to various industries as well. Let's talk about the jewelry part yet again. And Parag, this one is to you. There have been various reports again suggesting that while a mined diamond can be as much customized, but with lab grown comes many opportunities that you can cater to what the client really wants.
Yes, absolutely. But there is one thing, that the delta, the difference, the price difference between lab diamonds and natural diamond is much seen only when it is about solitaires and big size diamonds. Because when it comes to jewelry, the ratios are very important, because for a consumer, the ticket size of the entire product is important. For the consumer, lab grown is not the product, the jewelry is the product. So for example, if there is a bracelet where there are tiny, tiny diamonds, small diamonds, then probably they would feel that, okay, this, I could get the same bracelet in a lower grade of natural diamond compared to mine diamonds or lab grown diamonds. But when they look at a 5 carat diamond, a 2 carat, or a 1 carat, the price difference is so huge. To give you a perspective, one which is typically a 1 carat lab diamond is sold for 75,000 today. In natural diamond with bigger brands, the same thing is available for 8 lakhs or 10 lakhs. So the delta is huge. And same you compare for a 5 carat, it's like only 5%, like 4 lakhs, 5 lakhs compared to a 1 crore diamond. So jewelry, the consumer has to understand that what kind of jewelry they buy is going to make the difference. Otherwise, for the smaller diamonds, the price difference is not so obvious and not so much.
Pooja, what is the market penetration at this point in time when you talk about lab growns, and what are the estimated numbers? And as Parag made a point there, that design is going to be more important, custom making is going to be more important for the segment.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I think so far, when it comes to the Indian context, the consumer market may be about 300 to 400 crores. It's estimated to touch $5 billion in the next 5 years. That's the kind of growth in consumption that the Indian market is seeing. Of course, you mentioned that the global market has touched about $12 billion last year, and 2024 is estimated to touch about $18 to $20 billion. So I think there's rapid sales in terms of lab-grown diamond jewelry that's taking place all over the world. When it comes to designs, yes, I mean, as an avid purchaser of diamonds also, so far before this product came into the limelight, we had always, as consumers, we had always compromised, because majority of the jewelry that we often got in natural diamonds was all composed of small diamonds. So even if I wanted a solitaire, majority of the times I would be going out for a cluster setting or a pressure setting where small diamonds are studded, so that I have a look of a solitaire, because a solitaire was completely out of range when it came to affordability for majority of the Indian consumer set. So I think lab grown diamond allows you to not compromise any. Now within the same price range, you can actually afford solitaires, and the design scale is not just in terms of there's so much more that you can do with lab grown diamonds, not just in terms of solitaire range designs, which we've always aspired, but also in terms of colors. Some of the beautiful colors of the pinks and the blue diamonds,
Oh, yes.
which again, we have always seen in the Christie's and the Sotheby's of the world, is now a reality for the end consumers to buy.
And very, very affordable, as you guys put it. So, well, yes, this is a market that is absolutely opening up. And as you guys have put very strong numbers going into the next year and the 5 years for the Indian and the global markets as well. Thank you for that very exciting, interesting conversation, Sanket, Pooja and Parag. Thank you so much for joining us today at Commodity Champions. And with that, it's a wrap on this edition. Thank you for watching.